Hey guys, so today I've got the privilege to be able to sit with my buddy Will or William, right? What would you prefer to go by, Will?
Will do.
Will. So, y'all, this is Will Stewart. This is a wonderful young man that I've had the chance to interact with and would you say form a friendship?
Yeah, I would.
I think so too, yeah. So, Will and I have been able to kind of interact and talk, and Will is such a great guy. And as he and I spoke and would talk, I asked him if he would be okay with us just recording our conversation. So, Will, first off, I'm thankful that you're okay with us just letting everybody else hear our conversation.
Well, it's about time I stepped out of the shadows.
Yeah, of course. So, Will, I know one of the things you and I talked about was travel. That was one of the first things we talked about. What about traveling and different places throughout the world? What about that, if you want to tell everybody, what about that is interesting to you, Will?
Well, you get to see a lot of interesting things, wonders of the world. I went to Britain, and which is where my mom is from. You get to basically explore that cultural heritage, the ties you have to that place. So, I mean, every American, they come from somewhere, some foreign country. Our ancestors, our founding fathers came from Britain.
Yeah.
My mom came from Britain and was an Australian citizen, and my ancestors came over here from Ireland and Wales. So we all come from somewhere. It's getting to know that place, and you might actually endorse in some of the cultures and customs, and actually see the beauty of some areas. And sometimes there are areas you can't travel, but you can use Google or something to look at the more beautiful sides of places.
Tell us about your trip a little bit to Britain.
Oh, yes. We first started out, we went to Edinburgh, Scotland, the capital, and saw my uncle. We basically visited Edinburgh Castle and was there for my, my uncle got a new baby, I think
When was this?
2017. Her name was Eva, or Ella, or something. I forget the name.
No, you're good.
But we went for baptism at Edinburgh Castle, which is built on a volcano. And after we were done...
How old is that castle? I'm sorry.
Oh, I forgot the date, but it's very old. I think back from the Middle Ages.
What's the history of that castle? Do you know any history behind it?
No, I never really looked into it much. But after Scotland, we visited my mom's parents in Sleaford. It's a little town near Lincolnshire.
Okay.
Lincolnshire, it's home of Lincoln Castle, which is home to the Magna Carta.
Really?
And the Doomsday Book, which both of them were examples to build our Constitution and the Declaration.
So when you say the Magna, it's not housed there currently, is it?
It is.
Really?
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Really?
Yes, that's its permanent home. It's also, Lincolnshire is also home to Lincoln Cathedral, which used to have one of the largest church steeples in the world.
What went through your mind when you were seeing the Magna Carta?
I was very fascinated. But, I mean, that thing set the foundation for our Constitution. We then visited London, and after that, which was really fun, we got to see the Tower of London, which is where the crowns were kept, even Victoria's crown, the little one she's wearing in that famous photo.
Right.
Also saw the crown jewels and got a picture with the guards, who taught me that the American salute is this, but the British salute is...
Really?
Yes, different countries have different salutes. I mean, the Polish is this.
Really? You didn't get a smile from the guards, did you?
Oh, I did.
Did you?
Yes, but we weren't able to go to Tower Bridge because there was some kind of attack. People were throwing bicycles and all, but we got to see it from a distance, which I think is a lot better.
Right.
Yeah, I also saw Buckingham, and due to the attacks, the Red Guards weren't out. They had these blue military ones.
Okay. Well, tell me, we talked a little bit about one of your hobbies with coin. You want to...
Oh, yes. I collect banknotes and coins from around the world. I've collected a lot of coins. I have a large stash of British ones, such as Victorian, Edwardian, and even a small King George III, and a lot of Elizabeth coins.
Really? Why so many Elizabeth? Are they unique? Are they rare? Or you just like the way they look?
The Queen, she recently died. So if I hold on to and when a monarch dies, they will phase out the money to put the new monarch's face on the money.
I got you.
So basically, they may be worth something. They're starting to circulate the Charles coins now.
Really?
But soon those Elizabeth coins will be obsolete.
That's right.
But
That's right.
changing the money, it can cause some of the British Commonwealth members to leave. New Zealand's been thinking about it for a while. They've got a design for a new flag already.
Really no.
Yes, they put in several entries. One of them showed a Kiwi firing a laser through its eyes.
Oh my goodness. So tell me this, when you talk about culture and tradition, and obviously the British monarchy is something that intrigues you, who do you find has been, and again, how we define this is kind of up to us, but who do you feel has been a good monarch of Britain? And then if I could double team that question, let's cross the ocean. Who do you feel has done us well here in the States as president?
Well, I think the Queen, the recent Queen Elizabeth II, may she rest in peace, she kept the peace. She was very kind and very firm.
Mm-hmm.
She was not harsh. The reason many of the Commonwealth members stayed during her reign was because of her rule, and she cared about the people. Oh, but she never got time for her first son, Charles, because her motto was country first, family second. In America, we've had a lot of good presidents, but I think the three best ones
I like it.
we've had were FDR. He basically brought us out of the Great Depression, helped us beat Hitler in Japan.
Yeah.
And he sent the right people to kick their butts. And the second one is JFK. His firm stance during the Cuban Missile Crisis. He avoided a war, and basically he did say the greatest danger of all would be to do nothing. But it's sad that he was assassinated. But if he wasn't assassinated, I think the war in Vietnam and all those things would have been a lot different.
Yeah.
And Reagan, in my mind, was one of the big three who ended the Cold War. You had Margaret Thatcher, Prime Minister of the UK, first female Prime Minister, Mikhail Gorbachev, the last president of the Soviet Union, and Ronald Reagan. Reagan, he helped end the Cold War. Or at first he was, calling the Soviet Union evil empire and antagonizing them, but once he got to know Gorbachev, they started a good friendship, and that helped end the Cold War. Plus he helped Jelly Belly beans grow. They were his favorite. His favorite flavor was black licorice.
I'm guessing that's not your favorite flavor?
No, it's my mom's.
What's yours?
I would say I have several. My mom's favorites are popcorn and black licorice.
Have you tried any of the Bean Boozled stuff?
They're terrible.
They're awful, aren't they? Well, look, you mentioned, Cuban Missile Crisis and the quote that President Kennedy.
The greatest danger of all would be to do nothing.
So, what are your thoughts on that? Like, how does that impact us as a country now? Do you have any thoughts on that?
If we did nothing, last time we didn't do anything, it led to Pearl Harbor. Last time we tried to be ice, I think basically we should, if it affects us, we should get involved. But if it really doesn't affect us, what's the point? We should let them figure out. I've learned this from studying other interventions like Vietnam and Iraq and Afghanistan, and realized that some of those didn't really affect us at all. So we should only intervene if they attack us or if it involves one of our allies.
Yeah. Well, and that's really good words, because I can tell you really enjoy Queen Elizabeth's personality and her kindness and peace, right? And that goes along with what you're saying in regards to us as a country, and how we need to take care of our own stuff, and if it doesn't impact us. You've got some really, really good thoughts about that.
Yes, my theory is basically, even when this comes to at school, which I don't get into much, is be wise. Let your enemy make the first move. If you're seen as the aggressor, you won't get any support, but if you're seen as the victim, you will get some support, and maybe you'll be able to get through.
That's right. That's right.
So you must be wise and let the enemy make the first move. It's like they say in the Navy. Do not fire unless fired upon.
What, Will? If we could transition, what do you foresee Will doing in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? What
Right,
sort of
something-
occupation?
I'm thinking I may become a tour guide at the World War II Museum because I'll be able to share my knowledge, and basically the people there will be people who are actually interested in the stuff.
Right.
I was thinking about being a history teacher, but I would have to deal with a lot of kids who
Yes.
basically are disrespectful, disobedient, and also basically aren't really interested in the same stuff as me.
That's right.
And I have to respect their decisions.
That's right. That's right. What aside from history, what else intrigues you? What else are you interested in, Will?
Well, I am into a lot of music.
Yeah.
My music tastes are very varied. I like classic rock, jazz, but I've also tried some foreign stuff like, traditional music from different countries. And I'm a big fan of the Red Army Choir. They're basically the Russian Army choir. They keep the tradition of Russian Army music. It's really good, but some people call me a communist for that, but I'm just exploring their culture,
Right.
what they were like.
Well, and we also, this will lead me to talk about some more travel, and I'd love to ask you, but when you can appreciate what other cultures have done and what other countries have done as well with their, not only music, like you say, but also architecture. Tell us a couple must-see places that you said you're going to bring me with you when you go on vacation, right?
Well, there are many. One of my favorites is Forbidden City. It's the imperial capital of China. It's an ancient capital nurtured by the rivers. It's known for its red buildings and its golden roofs. But one place I hope to go when things cool down is Moscow. It is an architectural gem. It's the capital of Russia. It's home to many things like the Moscow Kremlin, which is the home of the Russian government, but is also known for its red brick walls, the Kremlin Armory, home of the Fabergé eggs, and its rich history, also its clock tower, Spasskaya Tower. The chimes there have sometimes been set to the Russian national anthem.
Mhm.
And near it is St. Basil's Cathedral, created in 1553 by Ivan the Terrible to celebrate his military victories. They're very colorful domes. Now, 8 of the 9 domes celebrate his military victories. The 9th for St. Basil, a Russian mystic and holy man. There are many places. Little thing, go to Britain instead of France, because Paris, in a way, is a bit of a dirty city, and the French don't like anyone who isn't French.
Yeah.
But Britain is very nice. There are a lot of things like Westminster Abbey, where every coronation is held. It's also where you can find the tomb of Queen Elizabeth I. And also there's Westminster, the Houses of Parliament, Big Ben.
Yeah.
It really is big.
Yeah. As we wrap, first off, I really have enjoyed just being able to sit with you, Will, and to get you out of class just for a minute, right? But y'all are talking about some things with the Vietnam conflict that you're pretty well versed in. So
Yes, like I say, I've studied just about the 20th century mostly. I study many of those conflicts, the reasons, and I discovered both sides of the story. If you know only one side, you don't get the full picture.
That's right.
You need to look at things not just from the American POV, but the Vietnamese point of view.
Right.
How much they suffered, what they thought.
Right. Can you let people know maybe just a message? What sort of message you would have for people as we wrap up today? But if you'd be okay with it, I'd love to sit back down one day in the coming weeks before school wraps, and we can just talk again like this. But if you maybe have any words for people just to learn to be kind to each other and to listen, and why that's important. Do you have any words on that, Will?
Well, my theory is you have to just be yourself. You just have to be yourself. Be your own person. And if the world was the same, it would be boring. So, as long as if you be yourself, you keep that variety that makes the world such a beautiful place.
Yes.
It's that variety.
Yes.
Anyways, Thank you.
You're an awesome guy, man. I enjoyed it. Next time. Till next time.
Till next time.
All right, guys.